In today's world, telling your brand story is all the rage. But what is a brand story? What's a story at all, for a matter of fact? There's very little consensus, right? But if you're in this world, if you're in marketing, it's very important to be able to recognize the difference between a story and any other piece of narrative kind of right away, right? So here's a quick exercise that you can employ to try to get better at recognizing story very quickly. All you need to do is you need to go to a library or look at your own books that you have in your house, somewhere that has a lot of books, okay? You're gonna go through all the titles and you're going to look at each one and say, is this book primarily telling me a narrative, a story of some sort, or is it making an argument? One book I love is The New Jim Crow. Now this is a nonfiction book making an argument against the current state of mass incarceration in the United States, okay? There are stories in this, but they're sprinkled throughout, and they're there to humanize policies that the author is taking issue with. There's also one full chapter that's all about the history of mass incarceration, and that has some narrative to it, but primarily, this book is making a case, it's making an argument. Another book I love is called Game Change. This is also nonfiction, also about policy and politics, and it covers the 2008 presidential election. So it takes you behind the scenes in all the campaigns, the Obama campaign, the Clinton campaign, the McCain campaign, and you get to know all the candidates and their team members as characters. And you follow them through all of the trials and tribulations of the campaign, what they encounter day to day, how they respond, what tactics they choose to employ in pursuit of their goal, okay? So this is primarily story. I love both. Storytelling and rhetoric can both be equally compelling, but they just do different things. You know, for rhetoric, if I'm in the middle of a really great rhetorical book, my feeling as I'm reading it is, I'm so fascinated by this. I'm learning so much. What new nugget am I going to get that's going to add to my knowledge of this topic? If I'm in the middle of a really good story-based book, I have that familiar and wonderful feeling that all of us have when we read a great storybook. What's going to happen next? And that's the thing that brings me back to that book to keep it going day after day after day. It's for this reason that stories tend to hold our attention more than rhetoric does, and they appeal to a wider audience. So if you can make your audience want to know what's going to happen next in your brand story, they won't be able to put any of your content down.